What's going on, guys? It's Jed. I ended up getting the Hoyer, whatever. Yeah, I ended up getting this shotgun golden, and I'm also working on the Spaz now. Last night I decided to obviously work on the shotguns here just because it's a very, very small class, super easy diamond or whatever. But today isn't necessarily about camos. Dude, I've actually seen people accuse me of cheating. Like, how could he have possibly gotten diamond this quickly? Or how could you get a gold weapon a day? Just play for like 16 hours, and it's very, very simple. You literally go onto a live stream and see plenty of other players do the same thing. Now, I mean, given if you're watching a streamer, it's likely that they don't enjoy this game. They're probably Warzone player, but still. Currently working on the Gallo. I started working on it like maybe for just a couple hours last night. It went from like level 2 or 3 all the way up to 30. I have a lot of the challenges done. Eliminations, headshot, almost the 5 kills without dying. Long shots are done. Point blank is the toughest, most annoying one, honestly. Just because how you don't need to be that close to blast somebody away. It's actually quite a big update as far as changes go, but it was only like 5 to 7 gigs or something like that that ended up coming out.
Bond flip maybe.
So they accidentally reverted the changes to the MP5. The MP5 was kind of OP, kind of ridiculous, kind of over the top. They ended up nerfing its effective range and also nerfing its recoil pattern. They made it a little bit harder to control, but still not a very difficult weapon to use at all. Still a very, very forgiving weapon. You guys do know the B flag is over there, right? You guys seem to care so much about getting the B flag a moment ago. What happened? Ended up nerfing the effective range of the tac rifles, but I believe the M16 got hit more than the AUG did, which is kind of strange considering the AUG and the M16 seemed like they were virtually the same weapon. Now, given they might not be, but it just seems a little weird that they hit the M16 a little bit harder than the AUG, considering they felt like they were the same. I figured they were both just gonna get clapped, and I mean, they both got hit for sure, but I love how the chopper knows that we flip towards this direction, so it sits directly above the C flag. Look at that. That is so gross. Why is it that whenever I call my own chopper in, it just literally flies around the outside of the map and gets absolutely nothing done? Also, in the process of them nerfing those, they also ended up hitting the sniper rifles again because they weren't fun and balanced enough. We had to make them more fun by making them more difficult to use. 0 point blanks that game. Love it. So the sniper rifles, as we know, have the basically the slowest ADS speed in the game. They're the slowest they've ever been, the weakest they've ever been, and at this point, they have decided that the sprint out time was the biggest issue with it now. They ended up hitting the sprint out time for the sniper rifles by like 25 or 50 milliseconds, which is... Now, given I've been seeing some people say that this is a buff, and I'm not necessarily understanding what they're talking about when they call this a buff. I haven't actually sniped to try to understand what they mean about it being technically a buff. I heard something about like an animation wasn't as long as it should have been, so this statistic doesn't actually slow anything down. It's just displaying things more accurately. I don't know. It just looks so weird and stupid to just see nerfed sniper rifle at all on this game of all games. I am on that level at this point to where I am accepting whatever is happening, okay? There's no point in fighting and making myself this big grand fucking target for them to slap around repeatedly over and over and over again, especially when there's just hordes and hordes of dog shit players that say that they are OP. I know some people can be like, oh, well, what about the pro players? Obviously, I'm not talking about the pro players, man. They play a completely different game. Like I said, man, we can keep nerfing them. Nerf them as much as we want. I'm going to still use it, and I'm still going to kill you with it repeatedly. You know why? Because you're dog shit. See, and people think it's just unwarranted when I say the things that I say. The amount of people I'll snipe just a couple times, and then for the rest of the game, they just lay into me, shooting their entire rounds with their entire group, doing the same exact shit as them. People wonder why I feel some type of way by just calling people bad at the game. Is it the way that I'm saying it, dog shit? You are very, very bad at the game. And anyone and everyone that has said that, hey, I can snipe, anyone can snipe, has no footage to provide to show that they can actually snipe. Go and link me a triple kill or a singular quad feed they've ever gotten in their life. That doesn't make it OP. What are you trying to make the argument for anymore? Are you trying to argue that it's OP and the players using it are dog shit? Or that you are so good that sniping has to be broken in order for it to make sense as to why it's shitting on you? Half the people that even type up the shit that they type up aren't even playing the games anymore. God, players that play like that. fuck you. The people that sit up in the tower, this tower right here, the worst players known to man. This is the new office window as far as I'm concerned. Everything to do is just sit behind those boxes and launch it across over there and get the easiest long shots of my life. Stay right there. Stay right where you are. So by nerfing the sprint out speed of snipers, obviously that means going from sprint to actually firing takes a moment longer now. Longer than it ever should have, even from the start anyway, but I'm not entirely sure if the nerf is actually a nerf or if it's just kind of there. Some people were even calling it a buff. I don't really know how that works. Maybe somebody could explain it, but I don't see it. Given I haven't sniped enough to be able to compare between the two of them at this point. Don't care if you kill me, so long as I can trade it with you. You can go ahead and sit on that head glitch. I'm blowing your ass up every time. Number one thing that people that sit around and hide and shit and try not to die, number one thing they hate is dying. Pamaj started tweeting about me. He's like, man, I don't know. And Jem's kind of scaring me recently. Because at this point, I'm not even like coming up with these like ridiculously long, drawn out ideologies of how things are supposed to work in a game. There's nothing wrong with what I do as a sniper on this game. And given I don't even snipe the most on this, by the end of this whole thing, I am a red gunner. Just a disgruntled red gunner. With zero respect. I don't really care how long this video is. It is what it is. They nerfed the snipers. I don't think they deserved it. I believe that they actually deserved a buff. I understand maybe from like a pro play standpoint how they could be a little bit strong, or some pro players are able to use it that they weren't able to use before, and they're able to hit shots that they weren't able to hit before. Fine, then GA the shit or nerf it within a certain rule set or something. So to sit there and potentially think that maybe, just maybe, they would care enough about you guys as pro players to actually make a separate rule set for you guys, or weapons with separate you know, damage sets and things like that, so the public version of a weapon would not be affected by the way that it is used within competitive play. Pro play, people are not running around with sniper rifles in respawn. Sniper rifles seem to be an exclusive S&D thing, and maybe some niche situations in other modes for pro play. In public matches, if it's skill based and someone is getting slapped left and right trying to snipe on this game, they're just gonna end up in the areas where they're gonna get slapped anyway. It literally will never stop. That's what skill-based is. They're going to be playing in a lower bracket anyway. I mean, I guess it's wrong for me to assume that, you know, they would be able to make an adjustment between weapons from competitive to public matches, like they really care that much about competitive anyway. I mean, we could go ahead and argue about it and talk about it or whatever, but year over year over year, every single year it's going to be the same exact thing. A new game, new updates, new problems, new balance issues, and new complaints. So year after year, year over year over year, it really doesn't even matter what you do to the sniper rifles. It really doesn't matter what you do to any of the rifles. Clearly, they have shown that they don't necessarily learn over time. So this is gonna be, again, an entire year of wasted effort, wasted complaint, waste overall on trying to change all of these weapons around, because at the end of it all, in under a year at this point already, we're going to be playing a brand new game, again, where quickscoping is still killing you. That sucks, I guess.